The lion is known as the king of the jungle for a reason. It is a fierce and formidable predator, capable of taking down many animals. However, it is not invincible. There are times when even lions can be defeated by other creatures, such as elephants or large herbivores. Additionally, there are times when lions underestimate their prey, leading to unexpected outcomes. In this episode, I will showcase some of these fascinating instances where lions face the wrong opponent. This is definitely something worth watching. Buffalo and lizard. Witnessing mutual aid in the wilderness is a remarkable sight. Have you ever seen it in action? A few years ago, some tourists visiting Kruger National Park in South Africa captured footage of young lions resting by a river. Suddenly, one of the predators disappeared into the bushes and reappeared with a large lizard as its prey. The lion was about to start its meal, but its plans were interrupted by a buffalo that appeared out of nowhere. It seemed like the buffalo had decided to save the reptile. He charged at the lion, hitting him on the head and tossing him 1.5 meters into the air. It was an impressive show of strength. However, the buffalo wasn't interested in the lizard's fate. He was simply defending his territory from competitors. Nevertheless, he taught the lions a valuable lesson. Porcupine. Okay, but what if you're attacked by several lions, but you're not an enormous elephant, but rather a modest-sized porcupine? Is it possible to survive in such situations? See for yourself. This footage, taken a few years ago in South Africa's Kruger National Park, shows 7 hungry lions surrounding a porcupine. They aimed for the tender meat hidden beneath the spiny shield. The predators began to try to attack the porcupine, but did not do so too actively. They understood that nature had endowed the beast with sharp needles, but altogether, it's certainly possible to defeat even such a spiny creature, right? As it turns out, no. The lions had a not-so-easy opponent. The porcupine skillfully set the spines under the blows, repulsed the attacks, and eventually left the lions with wounded paws. Plus, the beast left them without dinner. After a while, the big cats decided to give up and leave. Elephant. Attacking elephants is never acceptable. They are the largest terrestrial animal with impressive height and weight. However, what if a group of elephants were attacked? This is exactly what happened in 2014 when 14 hungry lionesses tracked down a young elephant that had strayed from its herd in a national park in Zambia. The elephant seemed to have no chance against so many predators, but it was much smarter than they thought. At just the right moment, it ran into the water with a lioness on its back and threw her off. The elephant then turned around and chased the lionesses, knowing that they did not like water. The experts noted that the elephant was clever like a feline. With its quick thinking, the elephant was able to survive the attack and emerge victorious. Hippos. Generally speaking, lions do not often mess with buffaloes. After all, the size of these herbivores is very impressive, which means that defeating a buffalo is not so easy. But it's even rarer for lions to mess with hippos, even more dangerous and larger inhabitants of Africa. Still, occasional skirmishes do occur. A tourist vacationing in Kenya's Masai Mara National Reserve spotted a lioness trolling through the savannah in the distance. By turning on his camera, the tourist was able to film an interesting scene. The predator approached the lying hippo and sniffed him, either assessing the sleepy prey or not understanding who or what she was dealing with. Either way, she was dealing with the wrong opponent. The giant woke up in a jiffy and, angry at being awakened, rushed toward the lioness, which began to run away. It may seem that the hippo grabbed the lioness by the head, but that's not exactly true. In this case, the lioness's head would have been immediately crushed. In fact, the hippo had barely opened his mouth when the lioness bit it with her teeth. The fight didn't last long. The hippo trampled the lioness, but she managed to escape. However, the tourist says that even this confrontation ended far from in favor of the lioness. According to him, the predator limped and most likely received injuries to internal organs that were incompatible with life. Rhino. Hippo. Check. Buffalo. Check. Elephant. Check. When it comes to African predators, it's no surprise that lions are at the top of the list. But what other large African animal could be attacked by a lion? Well, the rhino is one such animal. Although these horned creatures are considered less dangerous than the hippo, they are not to be trifled with. Despite their enormous size, hungry predators won't hesitate to go after them. In one particular footage, we see a rhino stuck in a body of water not far from the shore. Due to its massive build, the rhino is bogged down in the water like in a swamp. Although lions generally don't attack rhinos, how can they resist such a chance when the giant is almost immobilized? The predators saw an opportunity and lunged at the rhino. However, the rhino proved to be a formidable foe. At the last moment, the rhino managed to get out of the water and started attacking the lions. The predators quickly realized that they had underestimated the rhino's strength and immediately scattered. In the end, the rhino emerged victorious, and the lions were left to lick their wounds. Leopard. It may seem that big cats should stick together and support each other, but in fact, there are also clashes between them, and sometimes very violent ones, and in some cases, they even steal from each other. That's exactly what we see in this footage. A tourist filmed a leopard hunting impalas, but the animals were too far away and hidden by dense bushes. The tourist realized that he couldn't get a good shot, but he decided to stay and watch. The results surpassed all expectations. One of the two lions had decided to take away the prey dragged by the leopard into a tree. Usually, leopards do this so scavengers don't get the prey, but this tactic also worked with a bang against the lion. The king of the jungle tried to lure the leopard out or at least reach his prey, but in vain. The leopard climbed higher and higher off the branches and slipped away with his trophy in time. Realizing that the goal couldn't be reached, the lion descended to the ground and went to the river where the leopard proceeded to eat. Pangolin. Pangolins are a unique species of mammal that bear a resemblance to armadillos. Sadly, little is known about these creatures other than the fact that they are rapidly disappearing and are defenseless against poachers. However, it has recently come to light that pangolins are incredibly resilient animals, at least when it comes to defending themselves against lions. A guide from the Masai Mara National Reserve captured amazing and rare footage of a young and inexperienced lion attempting to take down a pangolin. The lion lacked the necessary skills to untangle the pangolin's tightly woven scales. The rain made the pangolin's scales even more slippery, adding to the lion's difficulty. Despite the lion's efforts, the pangolin remained unscathed, and the lion eventually abandoned its pursuit. The cameraman waited patiently for the pangolin to emerge from its armor to ensure it was okay. The cautious creature briefly poked its snout out before retreating back into its protective shell. The video footage is a reminder that even the kings of the jungle do not always emerge victorious from their fights. The same can be said for their relatives, the other big cats. They too are not always lucky. Tiger and goose. Could a goose be a worthy opponent for a tiger? Of course not, at least that's what most people would say. But sometimes, even a small goose can give a tiger a hard time. We see a tiger hunting a goose in a body of water. The tiger doesn't care about water. These big cats like to swim, but there's another problem. The goose likes to hide in the water and spoil the whole hunt. As soon as the tiger gets close to the goose, it mockingly dives and leaves the big cat with nothing. It's impossible to find the goose in the murky water, so the tiger has no way of catching the bird. This was clearly not his day. While a tiger unsuccessfully tries to catch a goose, there's a standoff between a jaguar and an anteater half the world away. This video was taken by tourists exploring the Pantanal region of Brazil. It all takes place at a watering hole, a favorite ambush spot for the predators. The jaguar sees the giant anteater drinking from the river and is about to make a dash for its back, but not before the anteater turns around, and the hunt is over. The jaguar lets the anteater get away, only watching after him until he was out of sight. But even if the attack had taken place, the anteater would certainly not have given up for nothing. The anteater, the hero of the video, is not inferior to the jaguar in size, and in case of a fight, he could have severely wounded the big cat with his huge claws. Leopard and hyenas. Let's go back to Kruger National Park in Africa, which is already familiar to many. A tense confrontation took place here between a pack of hyenas and an elderly leopard. The hyenas had marked the leopard as their prey, but the big cat was weak, likely due to old age or illness. Unfortunately, the hyenas did not understand the concept of justice and attacked the vulnerable leopard. Despite putting up a valiant fight, the leopard eventually lost the battle. According to the tourists who filmed the video, the hyena pack continued to pursue the exhausted leopard and eventually succeeded in killing it. That's all for now. Which big cat do you prefer? The lion, tiger, or leopard? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.